Members of the Main Street Chamber of Commerce, hang your churlish heads in despair. You will never win an argument with me. Oh no, I stand tall above you, all of you, in my greatness. For it is a fact that it was I who walked alongside the great man, Dr. Henry Buechel. You may remember him, even if you were not one of his students. He was the professor you may remember reading about in the newspapers, who tossed out Vietnam War protesters who tried to interrupt his lecture. This was reported throughout the world during the 1970s. It was his proverbial 15 minutes of fame, I suppose. These war protesters were interfering with classes all over campus, but not Henry's class. Oh no, when they arrived at his footsteps, he pulled off his glasses and loosened his tie. "Who wants to help me throw 'em out?" he said, and 3 or 4 guys come trundling down the center aisle. Oh boy. The protesters disappeared. The best they could do was shout their accusations and profanities at him through the doorway as it was being slammed shut in their collective face. I was not there when that happened. I was there a few years earlier. Oh, I remember that lecture hall. I sat in the seat assigned to me in a room full of people, 350 it must have been. People, we were like cattle. You would write your essay for Henry to see and be inspired by, but he would never see it. Nothing you said or felt got past a teacher's assistant. Just for the fun of it, Henry would flunk 20% of the class, or half the class, and one time he flunked the whole class. I always flunked the Blue Book exams. I studied harder for that Economics 201 course, I think, than any other student there. And I always failed the exam. For being the sort of American Henry was not inspired by and did not seem to like. But one afternoon, on a beautiful spring day in the beginning of a new year, in a crowd so thick you could hardly find places to set your feet, it was like that in the baby boom generation. Always a crowd. I discovered the great Henry Buechel walking next to me. I was surprised to see how much shorter he was. I looked down at his 1950s crew cut and I kept thinking, my God, say something! The lecture hall is less than 500 steps away. Say something! You fool! I could think of nothing to say. To this very day, I cannot think of anything I could have said. Maybe something like, "Oh, there you are, Dr. Buechel. Ho, ho, I'm a student of yours. I see we're both heading in the same direction, if you know what I mean. Ho, ho, ho. I'm flunking your course. I haven't passed a single blue book so far." Ho. And then he would have said, oh, I would have added hundreds of conclusions to that conversation that never happened, have gone through my mind ever since. Perhaps he would have shrugged me off as just another heckler. But then again, when we entered the great hall of economic certitude together, and he took his position at the blackboard while I was scrambling to find a seat even closer to the rear fire escape doors than the last time I was there, I glanced down and noticed him watching me. He was frowning. He seemed to be thinking, "You poor stupid fool. You could have at least said hello to me, a man who recently traveled clear across this great land of ours in order to attend a meeting chaired by President Lyndon Johnson himself, a profound thinker on history and economics, who will be remembered as the greatest hero of the Vietnam War. The war that kept America safe from, how did it go? A socioeconomic structure that promotes the establishment of a classless, stateless society based on common ownership of the means of production. But I let history pass me by. I should have seized the moment, and I did not. Greatness turned its attention upon me, and I shielded my eyes.